Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Bill. Welcome you back to my channel. I hope y'all had a good holiday. Came and gone quick, didn't it? But today I'm gonna kind of go over a video. The last video I did, I showed you a material test card, how I come up, how lightburn they made them and made it easy for us to use. But today I wanted to kind of take this a little step farther. I did a cut test with it as well. And I wanted to kind of show you a good way of putting your files together in Lightburn for your cuts and layers, how you can assign certain layers to certain pieces of your test grids and your cuts. So if it's something that you think you want to see, stick around. I'm going to jump on a computer here in a minute. I'm going to bring you on a ride. Oh, and if you get something out of this, I appreciate a thumbs up. I really would appreciate that. Give me a like, a follow, and a subscribe. And we're going to jump into this here, and I'm going to bring you a little bit more. So just stay tuned. All right, guys, I'm back on the computer now. And like I was telling you in the intro there, I'm going to show you just kind of an easy way of setting up your layers down here across the bottom. You have 29 different color layers, and then you have a T1 and a T2. The T1 and the T2 are just your tool paths. They don't engrave. They're just there, just aids to help you either. Let's say you're using a 300 by 300 millimeter piece of plywood, and you are trying to make sure you fit everything in that 300 piece of plywood. You would just draw your square out. You would hit your T1, and I have this in my other videos, but I'm just going to just say this real quick. And then you'll put your 300 by 300. You would have your 300, tab 300. And that's just going to make sure that everything you put inside that is going to be able to fit when you go to cut and burn. So that's what the T1 and T2 is for. Or if you're using it for like resize and things, or you're trying to center and align things inside your project, you'll use the T1 and the T2. I use a lot for that. Most designers that do design some of their own work or try to create and change other ones that you get off the internet and you want to change them and personalize them a little bit more, you can use those T1 and T2. But all the rest of those colors are all individual colors for individual layers. You see over here on the right, I have black, red, and blue. And those are the different colors across the bottom over here. And then I put little squares across in Lightburn here, just to represent each one of those cut layers, or those layers. The first one I have is a black. Let me just swap them real quick. First one I have is the black box, and that is set for 15,000 millimeters a minute, 70% power. The blue one is set for 13,000 millimeters a minute and 100% power. And then the red is my cut layer. I always use red as my cut layer. That would be 300 by 100. I can actually bump that up, and I'm probably going to change that in this video now. But what you can do is you can make each one of these colors down here. Like if you have two different machines, I have a Burn Lab 20 watt laser, and I have an Ortur 10 watt laser. So you can take the first three for your 20 watt, and then you can make your next three for your 10 watt, or if you got a 30 watt or 40 watt, you can create these layers to be whatever you want them to be. Now you can't change them and have it just like these layers are just for the Burn Lab, and you open up another one, it'll be just layers for the Ortur. It's going to be a standard every time you open up Lightburn, whether you go between your lasers. It's going to be it's going to be saved for each one of those, so you really can't change them. That I know of. But if you click on laser and you come over here, these are the two I have. I have an Ortur 10 and a Burn Lab 20. So if I click the 20, it's going to be the same as if I have the Ortur. But that's fine. Like I said, you can take the first three for, and the three I have, the black one is a, if you look at the cuts and layers, the black one is 15,000 and 70% power. That's more of a lighter kind of shade. And I'm going to get my test cards here in a second. The blue one is 13,000 and 100, so it's a little bit slower and much more power, 30% more power. That's going to give a little deeper of a burn. And then my red box here, of course, is going to be my cut layer. And I set those up Very easy to set up, and you can set up many of them. You can have all these. If you only have one laser, you can change all these colors to each individual layer or piece of material. Mostly what I use is 3mm plywood. I use some pine. I do use oak, and I use different pieces of material, but mostly what I use is mostly the 3mm plywood. So that's kind of what I set it up for these first three, the black, the blue, and the red. And what you do is you let me click these, undo. Let me go ahead and click these and get them pulled over here, just over a little bit. Now, the first one I have here is the black. So if you set it up as your black layer, your CO00, what you're going to do is you're going to click on the right side over here on your cuts and layers. You're going to double click that, double left click it, and it's going to pull up that tab for that. Now, in here is where you would change all of your things. Like, you can change your CO to we'll put down light engrave, and you see the sublayers light engrave. That's your speed. That's where you change your speed. That's where you change your power. All these things I went over on a previous video. So if you haven't seen that video, I definitely suggest you go into my channel and click on it. I dive pretty deep into a lot of that stuff. So if you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that. And then line interval right here is going to be 0.08, which is just under 300 lines per inch. And down in the bottom here, you have a little tab here. Most people don't even ever see them down there. It took me a long time to see them. I watched another video of another fella, and he was going over it, and I said, oh, okay, that's what that's for. But that's make default. So you can go ahead and click on that, and it's going to make that for default. So every time you double click on it, it's not going to change the C00 there, but it's going to change it right here. You're going to see where it's going to tell you what that title is. So that's going to let you know that that's a lighter engrave. And click OK. Let's bring over the blue one. If you double click on the blue one, you're going to see I have that set for 13,000 and 100%, and I put that down as a deep engrave. And where I came up with all these things, I'm going to show you in just a second, but I just want to go over this real quick and show you. It's the same thing of almost 300 lines per inch, and it's set to fill. Both of those are set to fill. So we go ahead and click OK on that. Now the red one is what I always choose as my cut. It's just always been my cut for cutting out anything on the laser. And if I double click that, you're going to look at it and you're going to see it's got 300 speed, 300 millimeters a minute, and the power is going to be 100%. And it's only got one pass, and that's, like I said, I have another video that has more about all that stuff, but that's what I have that set for with that. Now, remember what I said. If you click on them, if you click on any one of these, you can go ahead down here and you click make default. So whatever you change them as, you would just go ahead and click make default, and it's going to save those every time. So you know, every time you go in there, you're going to see that it's going to have that the black is going to be my light, the blue is going to be my deep, and then the red is going to be my cut. Every time I go into the 20 watt, that's what I'm going to use. So, and if I'm going to put the 10 watt, I can make that the next three here, and I can change the next three over there, and I can adjust them all individually to match each machine that I do have. I only have the two machines, so the 10 watt I don't really use a whole lot. Most of the time I use my 20 watt that's behind me right here. That's the one I pretty much use for everything. The 10 watt does great. It's just slower, and you know, when you're trying to do things, you want to try to get done as quick as you can, so I use the 20 watt. But the 10 watt does very, very well. Engraving does way better than my 20 watt, but I always use my 20 watt. So where I came up with those settings from is, like I said, the previous video I did, it broke down how I came up with not how I came up with the test cards, but how I use the test cards. And if you're looking at my last video, you'll see how I made this test card. But you can see when I got my 15,000 millimeters a minute, it was right here under the 15,000, and I went to 100%. That's the color that I did like on it, which was right there. So that's the one I put down for my for my blue layer. The black layer, I went to 13,100. So I just came down to right between here, and I came across, and that's the color I picked for 13 and 70, which would be right about there, that one that has that little square circle around drawn around a square. That's where I came up with that setting. I kind of like, when I looked at the test card, I like that to be my deeper one, was the 15,000 millimeter minute, and I like the 13,000. I like the shade and the depth of what that one was. So that's how I came up with making these layers to what they are. And then for my red layer, my cut layer, I just went ahead and I did a single line, and I went from 300 to 400 millimeters a minute. If you look on the back side, the 389 and the 400 was close to cutting out, but it did not cut it out. So, and all you do is once you get them cut out, you just kind of tap it. Whatever freely falls out, that's what you're going to use. Of course, I can push on the 389 and it will pop out, but you don't want to sit there and have to do a lot of that when you're making a big project and you have a lot of little pieces that are cutting out. You don't want to have to sit there and cut out each one of them little pieces. So you want to go to pretty much what fell right out without a problem, and then you want to drop it down. Like this is the one here that fell out. The 378 fell out perfect. As soon as I picked it up, it was actually laying on the honeycomb. Same as all the rest of them down below. But you don't want to take the 378 because, you know, where this is might not have a lot of glue pockets in it, or might not have a lot of things that's in it. But you can get a spot that has a little bit more trouble or a little more fibers. Maybe it's not going to cut it out as well. And then you're going to sit there and you're going to constantly be taking your tool and you're going to be trying to poke all those things out, which is kind of a pain in the tail. But you can just drop it down a little bit, you know, give up a little bit of the speed, which is going to save you more in your cleanup process in the end. So what I kind of would go with, if looking at this, being at the top one I just poked out, the 378, to cut it out no problem. I would probably go around to 356, just change that to like 350. That's going to be 3 lower than what it actually popped out, and that should have no issues when you're actually taking off your honeycomb, and everything should all fall right out of that at the 356 or 350. So we're going to change that red layer right now. And what you do is you highlight you just highlight the one you want, which you don't even have to highlight. You just go over here and you click on the color that you want, the layer that you want, and then in here you're going to put down 350. I'm just going to put 350 and 100% power, and I'm going to just name this layer cut out. Okay, and then come down below here and click OK. Now whenever you click on that, you're going to see it's going to pull it up, and it's going to have the cutout in there. You know that that's what that is. And you can even go a little step farther. You can put down, so you don't forget later on which machine it was, you can put down cutout 20 watt. And then you'll know that that's going to be the cutout for the 20 watt laser. So when you click on it, it's going to bring that up, and you're going to see cutout 20 watt. This way you know that's what it is. And then you'll see your 350 is in there, 100% power is in there, and you're good to go. So if you're going to pull up let's go to this one right here. It's an ornament I created last year, and I'm going to change all of it to the red for the cutout. So if you pull that up and you look in here, you're like, okay, well, I know this is a 3mm and 20 watt. If I click on the red layer, you know it is going to be what it's going to be. So you go back to cuts and layers, and you'll see that it's going to put it as a 350 and 100% power. It's just an easy way of just navigating through this and trying to help you out later on, so you're not trying to remember all these things. Of course, the more you use your laser, the more you remember stuff, but you got different thicknesses, different materials. It's hard to remember all that, but this is a nice, easy way of just keeping yourself what's the word I'm looking for? Organized, so you know every time you click on that. Now I know every company's different. Every, you know, 3mm. This is probably not even 3mm. It's actually, this 2.95. Other ones I have are 2.6. But you know, 3mm wood, it's going to cut that out at the 350 millimeters a minute. You know it's going to cut that out, and it's going to drop out nice. You're not going to have any jags or any splinters on the backside. So every time you cut this ornament out, you know that that's what you're going to have. Now, if you wanted to make this inside part, the Merry Christmas, you wanted to make that into a light engrave, then you can click that and you can put that into 15,000 millimeters a minute into 70, which is your light engrave. So it'll cut everything out, but it's going to engrave that lightly into your wood. And then you can have the name down here below. If you put that as the deep one, you know it's going to be a little bit slower, more power, and it's going to actually cut that out a lot deeper than what it is to Mary. So if you want it that way, you can do that. Or if you want them both to black, you can change both to black, so you know every time that's what it's going to be. Or you can change them both. Hit Control, click this one up here. You can change them both to the blue, and it'll be the 13,000, and it's going to be 100. So you know every time you do it, that's what it's going to set it up as. So this video was just to try to show you. The last video was to show you how I made my test card for the engrave. And in this video, I just wanted to show you that I went ahead and did a cut one, and then how I take these test cards and then I add them to my layers down below. So when I do go to creating my designs and things, and I bring them up on this lightburn, I know which ones that I'm going to be able to use for them. If you only have one machine, you can make these 3mm. You can make these 5mm. It's endless. It's whatever you want to have. So every time you click on it, you'll know that's what it is. So if you go to this last thing, if you go to the black layer here, and you put light engrave 3mm, this way you know that that's going to be, I'm going to put 3. It wouldn't let me add that space in between it. So you know that it's gonna, and you got to make sure you hit the make default. You know every time you click on that black layer, you can look it up and you can be like, I wonder what it was I put. What did I have the black layer as? And then you'll be able to see what it was. Oh, that was a light engrave for 3mm. Okay, I know that's what I want. So that was just an easy way to just try to be able to keep your stuff organized. It's very important to try to stay organized when you are doing it. It saves you much needed time. You have a 20 watt, 10 watt, 5 watt. It takes a long time to create the things on a computer. Then when you go to cut and engrave them with such small machines, it takes a lot longer. So anytime you can save a little bit of time is always a good thing. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed something. I hope you all got something out of this. If you did, please give me a like. Please give me a thumbs up.